Namaskar, welcome to Budding Journalists. And I'm sure you are getting a lot of information about journalism and mass communication in our videos. As we always say, the topic today is very interesting because we deal with interesting topics. And just let us listen to the topic. The name of the topic, it is importance of communication. So, importance of communication. Now, you'll say, sir, we know a lot many of points. Yes, definitely. Because I always repeat, there cannot be human life or there cannot be life without communication. Let us directly start with the topic. Let us go to the first point. Friends, initially when we were asked what are the basic needs, what are the basic needs of human being? And we always said it is roti, kapda or makan, that is food, clothing and shelter. Current scenario says that along with food, clothing and shelter, it's communication which is the basic need of human being. And we all very well agree, I'm sure we agree with that, because no communication and human life will become extremely difficult. You compare human being to any other species and you'll realize that the development of human beings has been very rapid. Why so rapid? You may say the other organisms, the other species also, they communicate in their own style. They have their voice, they have their noise. But do they have as effective communication as human beings have? And the answer is no. When we speak about communication, we speak about languages, we speak about body languages, we speak about facial expressions, we talk about verbal communication, non-verbal communication. So we will be dealing with these types of communication also. So coming back to importance of communication, as I was trying to tell you, the growth, the development, the evolution of human beings has been so rapid as compared to the other species, and the basic reason is the communication. If you again compare the human beings with the other species, you'll realize the other species have more of their physical needs as compared to their psychological needs. I don't underestimate any of the species for having less psychological needs, but I'm comparing them with human beings. Now, physical needs can be completed, they can be satisfied, but what about the psychological needs? Unless you speak to someone, unless someone speaks to you, unless you express to someone, unless someone expresses to you, how will the psychological needs of a person, of a human being, be completed? This was the point regarding the importance of communication. Every person needs many times in his life or sometimes in his life, however, depending on the nature of the person, to speak out more, to speak out less, to speak out to himself, or you can say to speak into himself, to speak out to others. So this is about the personal communication. And see the term which came so spontaneously, the term was personal communication. As I said previously, I'll be coming to those types of communication later, but let us proceed with the topic today, which is importance of communication. Let us take the other way. Suppose he communicates but he doesn't get the response, which is called as two-way communication. The society doesn't respond to him the way that he expects. How will he be satisfied as a human being? How will his psyche be satisfied unless he sends a message and that message is responded? So whether it's personal or whether it's social, communication needs to exist, and that is once again the importance of communication. There are so many instances in human life which sometimes we call as quarrel, sometimes we call as fight, sometimes we call as tiff. Now what is that? That is the communication going on between two persons. If it's good communication, positive communication, depending on the relations, depending on their intimacy, depending on their on the topic, on the conditions, so it's a good thing, it's good communication. But in many cases, what happens, we come across this example almost in everyone's life, that there is a, we say, communication gap. And what happens due to the communication gap is the both personalities. And what happens due to the communication gap is, though they are two, say one is not able to communicate, or say the other is not able to respond, or say both are not communicating, so whatever the issue between the two was, has very less chance of getting solved. And why just at the individual level? You check at the social level, you check at the national level, you check at the international level. We have some neighboring countries with whom we know that relations are not that good, but we cannot give up communication. You will always find that there is some communication going on at some level or the other with such nations. Why? We should understand what is going on there. They should understand what we wish to make them understand. Many times we feel we are or we were good in that communication. But what happened is we did not get that particular desired response. One thing which I said before closing, I would like to add is, however good the one-way communication may be, you have to be that lucky, you can say, that you get a similar response from the other side. Why am I saying that? Because the expectation, the understanding, the grasping, the interpretation of the other person with whom you are communicating may be less than what you expect, same as what you expect, and more or more than what you expect. And in these three cases, your communication was good, no doubt about it, but the response which you get depends on these factors. So, happy communication, that is what I would like to conclude this episode with. And keep watching Budding Journalists for many such interesting topics. Thank you very much.